Here we go, here we go.
Move it, move it, move it.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Next man up. Yeah.
Let's go.
I'm your host, Donovan Lee Dean, actor, author, and rhythmic poet. You're now tuned in to Next Man Up, Poetry in Motion, where the mission is to provide the essence of poetry in motion, promoting peace, love, and growth for the existence of humanity and the culture. Alongside with me is a special guest, a good friend of mine. He's an author, writer, poet, musician. He can do it all. He's originally from Los Angeles, California. Now currently lives in Houston, Texas. My good friend of mine, Mr. Sheldon Alex Sebastian. How you doing today, sir?
Good, doing good, living it up. How about you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. This is new. You know what I mean? This is something I don't do very often. This is, to inform our viewers. This is a music poetry podcast, and this is a premiere as far as the visual, the video podcast. I've for I'll say roughly 2-3 months now. You may say I've been doing the audio podcast. Started out with the audio podcast. Now I've transitioned on to the video podcast. We were talking about realness, getting the realness through your artistry. But we was talking about environments. The place that we lived. Currently living in Las Vegas. You have lived in Las Vegas. And you think about the glamour, you know what I mean? You think about the upside, but people don't really know, the tourists, people who may have visited for the first time don't know about the downside. You just kind of, you have the commercials, you have those who's getting paid to, sales pitch, they approach it as a car salesman, you know what I'm saying? But as an artist, you have the opportunity, to, provide what's real, and you was talking about with Vegas, you've had the pleasure of actually, letting people know what's real through your artistry. You was talking about, if I'm not mistaken, photography, correct? Along with poetry, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I really haven't been too out there with the photography part, but at least with the poetry, I'm just starting to get everything out.
We're gonna go into the more into your work. I know you're looking at my notes here. You have recently published your 8th book, titled "Where Others Live Free," which is coming soon, August 26th. Also, if I'm not mistaken, I'm looking at my notes here. You have that's already out, correct? Called the Book of Colossus and Ink Intervention, Volume 1 through 3.
Yeah. Those have been over the last 25 years. I started with the Book of Colossus and the idea there, and like like every other writer, every other artist, you go through phases of renaming and trying to get to the point of it. And the idea of Colossus just kind of came. It came November of 2012, and that's when I went from my writing name, most everybody knows, was Shell Shock. I kind of got away from that because I started to actually see what that name meant. Like, if you look at the correct spelling and the definition of it, it's someone who's war torn, someone who is affected by the spoils of chaos and conflict and war. And I kind of felt like change was kind of due. And that's where the name The Colossus came from. It's that because it's like changing our lives on strength, stability, unity, and strive, which there's an upcoming program that I'm working on here in the next couple of years surrounding that. But from there, I was like, this is how I'm going to go forward marketing myself. But just kind of like it's more so just applying that analogy to myself and into everything that I do. And that was the first four books. The last three I did ink intervention. It was just kind of like having to face myself. That was the general idea behind the titles. This is kind of like this, like sitting down, looking at yourself as a personal therapy session, and just kind of like working through some things and things that go through my mind and just
Gotcha.
getting it all out. So now, where others live free, the whole idea of wolf is that wolves are they can travel solo, but they can also travel in packs. And so this is just kind of like, I don't want to say completely independent, and I don't want to say codependent, but it's just kind of like it's going out and being away from my usual elements and just kind of being free, you know.
Got you. Okay. As far as your inspiration is as far as going into writing is basically kind of just your personal experiences, your personal. I'm going to say more personal experiences, correct? Your challenges.
It's a 50-50.
Emotion.
I've had to spend a lot of time being the outside looking in. So a lot of what I have created, some of it does come from within. Some of it comes deeper than the the usual levels that you can possibly imagine. But then there's the merging of where I got to a point where it was what if. So I was able to take personal or take whatever I was witnessing and throwing the what if so that way I can expand on that. Just a lot of it, a lot of me going out into the world, traveling, doing my day to day. A lot of times it'll be just the little things that'll come to me, and that's usually how they start now. Before it was personal, merging the personal with the what ifs and expanding on that to create something bigger.
Got you. Okay. I know that you've mentioned that you're a musician. Let the viewers know what instruments do you exactly play.
So, if you want the full story, the short part. So I used to dabble with guitar. I played the cello very well when I was in middle school, so I'm a lover of strings. But I've had over the series of the last 12 years, I've had probably countless strokes, TIA. So there's a lot of stuff I'm having to relearn. So I have a guitar, I have a wooden flute, I have a piano, I have a violin, which I've never played violin before, but it's in a way it's recovery. It's trying to get back into that part. And the one thing I've never lost was my ability to write. So yeah, I dabble with the strings. I'm a big lover of the strings. I have a ukulele as well. Um, and I'm just, I
Mm.
would really like to get back into it eventually at some point. But it's always been there. It's always in my blood. You know.
Okay. You think playing an instrument is kind of like another vessel and writing to actually help you maybe find that's something that you're sort of been needing and that you feel that you need in your life, or something that's or also is something that's therapy for you as well.
Yes, yes, definitely. Believe it or not, and this is going to sound strange, that beatboxing is actually part of that as well. That just like any kind of rhythm or form of rhythm, like
Okay.
you can do something as normal as, you know, making a rhythm on the table, on your legs, whatever it may be. And there's something about rhythm that just stirs up everything else in the system to either want to let it out and keep it for yourself, or let it out and make something greater
Mm.
out of it. But yeah, this is it's like writing. It's healing. It's a form of healing. Um, I've I'm a big fan of words and music together, but lately I've been finding myself being more drawn to minimalist. So in the sense, jazz. Um, Things like artists like Sade, of course, that you get, or Maxwell, where you get the instrument and you get the words and you feel a lot of the actual music, the actual rhythm is being brought out, being pushed to the front and center, as much as the words are.
I have some questions, Sheldon. I'm trying to because it's the things you're telling me is deep, and you've gone through these experiences, and especially health complications, and
Yep.
uh, it seems like writing is helping you cope, and it's also it's almost like it's medicine at the same time. It's extending your lifespan, because it's like without those things, it probably your lifespan will probably be shorter, or your health, I guess you could say, will be diminished a little bit. You know what I'm saying? If that makes any
Right.
sense.
Right. Yeah, it does.
You
It
know,
does.
because you told me about you having a stroke, and these other complications, and yeah.
So it's like a lot of
That's
people
awesome,
don't
man. It's
believe
awesome,
it.
bro.
A lot of people don't believe it, but it's true. It's true.
What do you want to get out of writing? But you had mentioned some different. You had addressed some different components as far as what you would like to get out of it. But is it more of telling your story, trying to find your existence? Is it more for what you're trying to get out of life, or what you're trying to, or how you're trying to exist within the world, or is it for you as well as impacting people? That may be going through something similar, or going through certain challenges. It may be similar, it may not be similar, but who may be going through something as well.
Um, so I started writing when I was 15. I had very little interest in putting out until I turned about 17 and started to realize,
Mm-hmm.
from the few friends that I made like the year before, that they would read my stuff and they're like, "Man, you have no idea." And I started to realize that that what I have to say has a great effect on so many people. So why not let my writing help somebody else out? It's not. I mean, for me, it helps. It helps to get it off my chest. But at the end of the day, what I do is going to help someone out, and that's pretty much my entire mantra, if you will.
Most
Uh,
definitely.
writing that it's not for me, it's for everyone. That I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
most
someone
definitely.
looking at it and said, now I can get by.
Um, on a podcast, Shaq iterated that, as artists, as poets, you know, we, we start, which originated from, we going through some ish, we going through some things, you know what I'm saying? So, but also we helping other people, but we're superheroes. You know what I'm saying? Because, at the end of the day, spiritually, emotionally, you know, at the end of the day, we might be even, saving someone's life,
Right.
through our work. You know what I mean? So we helping someone get back on track as well as helping ourselves get on track, or maintained, you know, spiritually, you know what I mean? Mentally, you know what I'm saying? So, that's the beauty of poetry, at the end of the day, you know, sometimes we have a hard time in this world, communicating, you know what I mean? And that's essential for humanity to thrive. That's why we have issues, worldwide, as far as we have, a crisis. It might be a humanitarian crisis. It might be, war that may break out, from, a breakdown in communication. We have a hard time just getting along, whether it's domestic or internationally, you know what I'm saying? But with poetry, we have the ability to find, common ground, as well as helping ourselves, we're helping others. You know what I mean? And that's what it's all about. That's what communication. We're able to communicate through our work. That's the beauty of artistry. That's what I love about it. Not only am I helping myself, but I'm helping others. I love people, but don't get me wrong. I have issues with people, but I feel like through my work, I'm able to communicate more effectively. So I love it because it's just different nuances to it. It's just so. Yeah. What do you want to see matter for the future, for tomorrow? Where do you see yourself with your work?
Um, hmm. Oh, what do you mean like what I want to happen, say when all is said and done? Um, honestly,
Yeah, when it's all said and done, do you want to legacy? What do you want to be? Yeah.
um, it's not really something that I've thought about. Because I mean, I kind of feel like I do it just to do it. There's nothing in particular that I'm kind of like aiming for or gunning for. It's just that I write. I've been writing the last 25 years, and that's just and the day that I stop will be the day that I stop. But I'll just continue to go about it the same way I have since the first day. That even if it doesn't come from me, it'll come from a place of perspectives to where I continue to help people out. I just and I want to go back to that statement that you mentioned about like we're superheroes. Is that the one thing that I noticed, especially with you yourself and myself, is that
that word, like sometimes when we say that word itself is like, it's like, you put on your humbleness because, I mean, you know, we as you know, we as some of us in the writing community, some of us as artists, and especially between you and me, we don't exactly see ourselves as heroes. We are just, you know, it's like when someone pays us a compliment, it's just like, okay, you know, it's like, all right. And it's like you just kind of keep going from there. Because you mentioned before that you've seen
Gotcha.
people take it and they would take it to like another level, or you know, like there's something grand on top of it where they end up losing sight of the actual art and the craft itself, and it's just that we're different. We're a different breed. We're different animals. That we are not from here. You know.
Got you. Got you. Got you. No, I totally understand. It's more like I guess you could say sometimes you kind of feel like almost like an outcast in a sense, you
Yeah,
know,
because it's
like you
because
don't
you're different.
belong, but
You don't operate the same as everybody else, and it's like
you,
it's okay to be. And that's one of the things about when I write. That's the one thing that I always present. It's okay to be different. It's okay to do things differently. But the one thing that I've understood um, in most of my journeys and most of my growing up is that
most definitely.
people can people can exist as they want to. Everyone has the right to exist. But the thing is you can exist as long as you're not infringing or impending or discriminating on my existence, on my truth, on my breath of my life, and the reason why I'm here doing what I'm doing. You know, and it's really rare to get people like that. And you yourself are one of those people where it's just kind of like, you know, take for example, going to the park, you see the ducks, but you want the birds and the animals and the bugs and everybody, everything to be as they are. You're not trying to impinge or infringe or get in the way of that. Um, and through writing, I'm seeing that you know, like it's okay. I'm being able to tell people, hey, it's okay, and I'm being able to express that it's all right. You know, I may not look like Tay Diggs, I may not look like The Rock, you know, but I'm me, and that's okay.
Basically, what you're mentioning is, through your work, well, through as artists, period, through poetry, through writings, well, through literature, you have the ability to relay an important, a very essential message to each and every individual, um, what they need to hear. Because a lot of times, people, just go on with their routines, and especially it might be something that's maybe harmful to other people. It might be something that's, they may be committing wrongdoings, or it might be another entity where, they're stressing, you know, they're in a panic, and you're able to relay a message through artistically that, like you said, hey, everything is okay, or hey, how about we do it this way? Maybe you need to look at it from these lenses instead of that lens. Maybe look at it from a different perspective. You know, um, is that correct? I mean, or do you feel that way? Is that what you're trying to implement?
Yeah. A lot of times when I am writing, I'll find myself going through something, and probably about a couple months later, I'll be like, "Oh, there's reprieve. I've written a solution, or I've come up with something that's let you know, hey, this is how we get by, or this is how I get by." And sometimes I may just offer a solution to somebody or some kind of comfort. Um, I know that you've probably seen some of my stuff, and sometimes it can get like a little, I don't want to say dark, but just a little bit in the feelings and the emotions, like going through stress, going through trauma, feeling lost, trying to find yourself. Um, but the thing about that is that, and this goes for everyone, that however you write, however you feel, that's you, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with expression. There's nothing wrong with expressing that or getting it out, because sometimes that is the only way to get out. Because if you bottle it up and if you keep it in, sometimes it just does not help. You know.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Poetry is just what you had mentioned. It just allows you to figure it out. It allows you to say, hey, okay. It allows you to actually reveal, but you throwing it all out on the table.
Right.
Yes. You're not afraid to through writing. You're not afraid to reveal what's actually going on internally, or what you're encountering. You know what I'm saying? You're able to throw it out on the table and like, hey, this is what it is. This is what I feel I need to do, or this is where I feel that I need to go, or this is maybe I can resolve it this way, resolve it that way. You know,
Right.
this is the direction I need to go. You're able to find it out through your writing. You know,
Right.
I know with me personally, that's what it was. That's what it is even now. I know I started out, I was homeless. I was in and out of homelessness. And that's when I began to start writing, through you know what I'm saying? And it really has helped me in a major way. So I know for me starting off, it was for me personally. The writing was for me. And then eventually when I started to, you know, kind of solve my problems, I had the urge or need to uh, wanted to have the ability to communicate with other people, because I know, like I said, I know that communication is key for humanity, for human existence, as well as peace and love. And so, in that sense, man, like I said, we you had mentioned like, oh, you think that your work is revealing all the pain, and it may be too much of that concept, but trust me, I understand because I've been through it myself. You know what I'm saying? Now climbing out of it. You know what I mean? So, like I said, we be on the same page, brother. So,
Right.
like I said, as poets, as writers, it's a lot of times it originates from you going through ish. You know what I'm saying? So, that's what it is. So, yes, indeed. We're getting close to the conclusion. We're midway. So I wanted to actually go to poem analysis. Um going to analyze a little bit, break it down, find reveal the meanings of a few verses, and let me see if I can play them.
Turn your face from faking to the one who gives his grace. Slow your pace from racing, pump the brakes and show some faith. Rid your load of baggage, it's not easy making space. But that love is possibility and worthy of the chase. And worthy of the chase.
Yeah, go ahead, Sheldon.
Yeah, that one. I wish I could remember what I was going through in that moment. That's not exactly one of the easiest.
The easiest one. Okay. Yeah.
Easiest of things to break down, because I remember. Here we go. I found it. Go
ahead. Yeah, you good.
That one in particular was from. Let me close because I have a couple of windows open where I had to kind of open. I had to open the actual rough draft document that I had when I was doing most of this. So turn your face from faking from the one who gives his grace. Slow your pace.
Let me mention my thought. Let me mention my thought before you go into it. I'm just trying to make it interesting. See if I can spice it up a little bit. I don't know. I'm gonna say it's a battle with yourself. It's more emotional conflict there, where it's like you're I'm not going to say it's really I'm going to say it's like a voice of reason for that moment. It's something where it's an entity, maybe at your job. It may be something dealing with family. For some reason, I think it's something dealing with your job. Because I've been through that. I've been through a situation where it's like you have to put on a front. And I know me personally, I'm just going to go with my experience, dealing with people at work, your bosses. You have to put on this front, which is a common scenario, and I'm always, due to my dignity and pride. I'm talking. It's more like internally. It's like you're all to yourself, like, no, this is not going to go down like this. This is what's going to happen, and I'm willing to risk my job, to maintain my. I feel like it was more of your conscious kicking in. No, this is who you are. Don't sway from that. Don't let anybody pull you away from who you are. Be genuine, be you. And this is what it is. And I'm not going to sway away from who I am as a person. It may be wrong, but that's what I had gotten from that verse.
So this one was, and I have a lot of short ones, but this is one of the shortest ones that went into, by far to date, the biggest book I've ever released. January 13th, 2017. I had already moved, if I'm not mistaken. No, I started Target in 2016. I was still in Vegas by this time. Um, the idea behind that was actually, it's a, in a way, in a nutshell, it's saying go to God. Pretty much, where where it's basically telling you, literally, turn your face from faking to the one who gives his grace. So you're given grace from God, or the Most High, or whomever whomever that you have faith in, that you're giving grace from there. So stop taking yourself through facades. Stop going through these facades, and find reprieve and find help and release in the Almighty. That's pretty much what this whole poem is. It's just kind of like, literal. If you want to put it down into a sentence, is let go and let God.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, so I was wrong.
Hey, it's okay. But that's the other thing about writing. Everything is open. Everything.
Oh yeah.
It's okay for open interpretation. I'm not going to correct you. I'm not going to say what you're saying is wrong. Is because everything that I put out and put together, you're open to translate that into whatever way feels comfortable. And I love it.
Gotcha.
I love it because
Okay.
because basically what you're telling me is from what you're hearing is you're finding freedom in what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. It's it's um it's a beautiful, phenomenal show and tell, and allowing it to, you know, you giving your take on it as well as allowing other people to give their take on it. So
Right. Right.
okay. There was another verse there where you mentioned pump the brakes and show some faith. Uh, my interpretation was, you had a point in your life where you felt the need to rush things, to fulfill demands or goals. Yet your conscience is telling you there's no need for that. Keep the faith. There's no need to rush things, So that was my interpretation of that verse.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much, yeah. Slow your pace from racing. Pump the brakes.
What's the action? Yeah.
Pretty much what you said was.
That's what it was. Oh, okay, I'm on point. Okay.
Yeah, it was dead on because it's just kind of like, you're doing things in your own way, but slow down and show some faith that everything is going to be okay.
Yeah. Okay. I had another verse that I think I have a couple more verses that I was analyzing. I think at the end, no, it's actually one more verse. So at the end, he said, love. I have to actually listen to it again. You mentioned about love.
Yeah, I said that love is possible.
It's another part of that verse in there, man. I can't remember. Yeah, love is possibility. So what I got out of that verse was, you have a lot going on in your life, but you feel that no matter what you got going on, because you mentioned also in that verse about you had a lot of like baggage. You know what I'm saying? But
Back to the fifth line down to the eighth. So rid your load of baggage. It's not easy making space. Let go of your heavy loads, and it's not easy making space after that. Having letting go of the baggage, you'll feel a bit of a void, but when you realize what it's done, what letting go has actually done for you, it's worth the attempt of setting yourself free.
Got you. Okay. Okay. We are at the end of our segment. So before we go, it will be a pleasure if you share your beautiful work, to our viewers. A little bit of your poetry. So yeah, man. The floor is yours.
It's called
Talk
Until
to 'em.
Tomorrow. I will wake up tomorrow solid in my stance, in defense of my direction, and not a sway in my plans. It's my turn to make it for as long as it took, despite the construction, despite how it looks. I've waited forever, took my sweet time, impatient and pacing and hoped for a sign. But right here I claim it, because I deserve the spoils of my toiling, the worth of my words.
That was beautiful, brother. Sheldon, thank you for joining me on this episode, brother.
Yes, sir.